Thank you, Mr. Crump. Would you first state your name for the record?
My name for the record is Charles C. Crump.
Thank you for being here with us this evening. Have you decided whether you would prefer to do an opening statement or a closing statement?
I prefer to do a closing statement.
Okay, we'll save that for the end. So we're just going to start down here with Counselor McClinton. He's going to ask a couple questions, and then we're going to move through the body with our questions for you.
Hey, Mr. Crump, how you doing?
All right, how you doing, sir?
Thank you for applying for education. Again, a lot of people don't realize it's a thankless job. It's an important job. So thank you for stepping in the arena. We really appreciate that. I'll have two questions, and you take your time. My two questions are this. Under, I guess, ever since Hoover City Schools left Jefferson County to form its own school district, we had to carry the desegregation order of 1972 with us. Can you give me a good understanding of what that is and what are the 5 green factors that we're beholden to be released from that order?
Well, sir, the desegregation order originates from basically, I think it was called the Stout case. And the 5 green factors, I don't know off the top of my head, as I've been trying to research it. I just haven't come across those just yet. But those are the factors that we have to address to be able to get the Unitarian status as a school system as a whole. This from the Desegregation Act has been, to be honest with you, it's been looming over our heads for the past 50 years. And it's something that we really need to pursue to continue to get the Unitarian status and the government oversight that we have pertaining to the system.
Okay. I'll give you a heads up because most folks don't know what the 5 green factors are. Don't worry, it's not a trick question. I grew up in Birmingham City Schools, so I was part of that social experiment of moving kids around, okay? So I get that. So the factors are we have to show our faculty, our staff, our facilities, our transportation, and our extracurricular activities that there's not one for blacks or one for whites only. Now,
Yes, sir.
I would think you'd probably agree we don't have different busing systems for blacks and whites or facilities. That's, I think, some of the frustration that parents have. I know as me being one that we should be released of that order because Hoover has over 54 different languages spoken in the home. It's a very diverse community. What do you see as you learn about this order and the 5 green factors? What do you see yourself in trying to help us get us out of that order and working with your colleagues?
As far as that order, I think it was, I can't remember the judge's name off the top of my head, but he's
Akala.
Right, he's still alive. And one of the gentlemen the lawyers who've prosecuted, he actually is still alive here in the city of Birmingham area. I would like to see how are they saying that we don't meet it today? As a parent, I participate in the football programs, basketball programs. Hoover has, over 118 buses? So I really would like to sit down and see exactly where are they saying we don't meet these factors, and then show them how the other areas where we do excel and be able to bridge this gap and obtain this status.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Crump.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Just a couple of questions. What are your thoughts on a third high school?
On a third high school? Well, sir, first of all, the question would be where? And then, can we afford it? Those are the 2 main things that I would look into to see where would you put it and can we afford that? The idea of it is a great thing, but economically, can we as a school system sustain it and afford to build it? And then most importantly, where would you put it? With projects like that, we can't be thinking about the here and now. We have to be thinking about 20 years from now, because realistically, that's where things are going to, we have to be preparing for the future. So I would definitely, with that idea, I would say we have to do some great research and to see where, I just, that's just the best way I can answer it right now.
Got it. Okay. What do you feel is the most important issue facing our school system? And how do you plan to address the issue?
So honestly, I don't know what is the most important issue, but I do know the issue of the Unitarian status is an issue that does need to, and I think the Unitarian status will be easily solved. Just simply getting people to the table and let's address those 5 issues and see where we can meet that. And then, honestly, I know without a doubt, with a system this size, there's more issues than just that one that I'm not aware of. So once you become aware of it, get into the system more, dig in deep, then I would be able to better answer that question then.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all, Madam Chairman.
Evening, how you doing?
All right, sir, how you?
Good. So I just have 2 questions. So looking at K-12 education, what's your thoughts or your beliefs associated with should material in libraries be regulated and the impact of that?
You're pertaining the regulations to certain subjects or issues? What subjects are
Any
those?
all material that is entered into the library for our kids to read, should that be regulated at a certain point? Or what's your thoughts about regulating material or books and or books?
So, yes, we do have to be careful with that because some of the books and that are now entering into the systems, they are touching upon sensitive areas that the society as a whole is wrestling with. So we need to really look into that so that way we're careful of what we expose our children to. So that would be with those books. I would definitely would look into with the legal teams and all the many different people that would be involved with that before we just flat out and say, here's a book, let it be inside of our library system. Because I mean, there's the world has changed. It's not like when he and I was in the Birmingham City school system. So we have to be careful of that.
My last question, President Trump did form an executive order to eliminate the Department of Education. What is your thoughts on that and the impact of that?
Honestly, my thoughts on that, with him eliminating the Department of Education, it's going to play into our favor with the Unitarian Act. Because now some of those things with the oversight of government overreaching, telling us things and dictating certain things, a lot of that is going to go away with the Department of Education. We'll be able to educate our students based on what is here in our environment. Hoover City School System, we're not like a lot of other school systems where we're dependent on so much of the federal funds.
President Lyda?
Mr. Crump, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
If you're selected for the board, I can assure you, you will be at some point contacted by a parent addressing a serious matter that's affecting their student. How would you respond to that parent and help them get resolution as a board member?
Mr. Lyda, that's a very good question. First thing is to listen and then get all the facts from that parent. Then go to the other board members and relay this issue to them, and then allow the superintendent to allow his chain of command to deal with whatever said issue it is. In my experience from my professional field, as a person in a board position, I want the people to come to me with a problem, but a lot of times you're going to find out that there is actually 2 problems. Now you wonder what would those 2 problems be? One, whatever the problem is that parent has. And then 2, the second problem is why did they feel like the chain did or did not work. So with that, as the parent brings us those problems, bring it to the board, allow the superintendent and his chain to follow their process, and then follow up with the superintendent, the board, and the parent, so that way we can make sure whatever both of those problems, be they known or unknown, we address both of them. But as a board member, no, it's not my job to run out here and run in the classroom and, no, that's not, no.
Each of our life experiences obviously bring us certain ideas and mindsets to any position that we serve in. As a veteran, as a man of faith from your application, certainly you have those same mindsets and ideas too. How would you balance your personal beliefs, your personal convictions, your political views with the needs and demands of a diverse school system?
Well, when it comes to certain things like that, I would definitely confer with my fellow board members. And then we also have a legal team. But from professionally, I know every word you say is being recorded, especially in our day and time. So if it was something like that, I would definitely seek counsel amongst us first, and then see where do I stand physically, and then go from there.
Mr. Crump, have you had occasion to attend any Board of Education meetings in Hoover?
To be honest with you, I've watched all your meetings virtually or listened to them virtually. And instead of being here in person for the past, since I've been here in the community, I've just listened to them basically on the through the YouTube app of that way.
In doing so, you've probably noticed that sometimes there can be some tension in the room. How would you handle an environment where there was criticism or disagreement, especially in a public or emotionally charged environment?
In those environments, we allow those to disagree. We allow them to allow their feelings, but then they need to be civilized. And if it was to that point where it became uncivil, then yes, we would have some additional law enforcement here to have them controlled. But we have to understand people that come in here, they have issues, and they're bringing their issues and concerns with us, to us, because they believe we have solutions. So it may even, with some of the issues, may even require us taking that one person to the side and say, hey, can we have a private meeting with you? And let's sit down and at least hear them out and see if there is some validity to their claim. But I believe letting people, like, as long as you're civil, I'm sorry, just as long as you're civil with it, I have no problem with you being emotional and being passionate, because we have to understand people are talking about their children. So there's nothing, we cannot overlook that passion.
Thank you. If you had a situation where the Board of Education was divided on a major issue, how would you work to try to resolve it?
The question would be, I would really wonder what is the issue that we are divided on. And as a person that have had to deal with divided issues before, we sit down and look at it individually and let's everybody see why are we divided, and then what's going on, and then see what do we need to do to come together so that way we can present ourselves as one City Hoover board, not just the City of Hoover and its board members.
Very good. You can give your closing statement when you are ready. Take all the time you need.
Well, by now, everybody knows who my name is. My name is Charles Crump. I'm a father of 3. My 2 children actually are here in the audience. I felt it important for them to be part of this because they're the primary reasons of this. I don't take this position lightly. Right now, our city, our country is at a fragile point. like one of the members had said, Mr. Murphy said about the doing away with the Department of Education. The board position, it plays so much into our infrastructure of our city. Why? Right now, we have a project study going on with the Galleria Towers. When a company comes, or when anybody comes to this area, they're going to first look at the school board. They're going to look at what are the educational scores. That person who is over that company decision that has a child that has unique situations going on, they're going to look into see how is our school system dealing with those issues. And not only that, this board plays so much into as far as crime rate. If we're not properly educating our children in the area, our crime rate is going to deplete too. So I don't take this just as something to come up here and volunteer my time for. And I'm not coming for as a lifelong position either. I'm just coming to serve. It's not a big I, it's not a big me. Because I know one of the questions was, how do I quantify and what is my goals? Honestly, in a position like this, we won't be able to see the results of our work until 20 years down the road. So long as I do my best, leave my best, if I become a board member, I will immediately go from being a father of 3 children to a father of over 14,000 children. Because that's how I want to treat every last one of them. I will become a man now from having a small business to having over 1,800 employees that look up, listen to us, and that we're leading and guiding. So it's not all about me. So, closing, when things happen in our community or in our schools, the first thing somebody says is our thoughts and our prayers are with them. So my suggestion is this: let's let our thoughts and prayers be with us now before something tragic or before things get out of hand. And I thank you and I pray that you'll consider my application, and whoever gets the position, if they want me to help, I'll be glad to help in any kind of manner. Again, it's not about me. It's about our children and our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crump, and welcome, Crump family. Thank you for coming. Well done.
Thank you.